Good morning, everyone. It's Brenda Quintana here, and today is Casing Tuesday, and we're going to copy and do some makeovers of some cards today. Today is November 1st. Can you believe it? I can't believe it. Halloween was just yesterday, and now we're into November, like 2 months before the holidays begin, the Christmas holidays or whatever holiday you celebrate. And anyway, I didn't do a sound check. I should do that real quick. I always kind of forget to do this right before. Let me just make sure my speakers are at maximum volume output. Okay, just double checking. Okay, I think I'm good. Let me know if my volume is not loud enough. I think I've got everything going all right. So this month we have a new collection called Fitting Florets, and I'm going to be using it today. And just so you know, if you want to check it out, you can, here is the item number. If you go into the Stampin' Up! Store right now, it's going to be one of the top banners floating around on the page because it's there. That's the featured special for the month. And so that is the item number for the whole collection, which includes the bundle, the Christmas word stamp set, the paper, and the embellishment. But you can buy everything individually as well. The paper and the embellishment are limited time. Oh, and the Christmas stamp set. But the bundle will be available right through the occasions catalog, which starts in January. So you're going to see a whole lot of samples with that bundle and continued into the new year. So it's you will have lots of inspiration with it, starting with me today. So I just wanted to pop that up there, and I have a new host code for the month, and that is HGPJK6HE. And please use that host code with ordering. And this month I have a new special that I've never done before. I've gone into my vault of special stamp sets. These are ones that they used to be wood mounted, and I converted them over into cling mount and put them into cases. So just to give you a sample, I'm just gonna grab. So here's one that I mounted by sea, and I put them in a new stamp case with a new cover and everything. Let me see, I've got some more. There's a Christmas cardinal. These are all my favorite stamp sets, but if you've been following me at all, we are looking for a new place to live. We are finally ready to purchase a house. It's going to take us a little while, but conceivably we're going to be in a smaller space. So I really want to downsize my collection, and that includes my favorites. So this month, if you use the host code that I just have up on the screen, for every $50 you spend with me, you'll get to choose one of those stamp sets. And if you want to email me before you order to make sure the one that you want is still available, please do. I will reserve it to you for a short period so you can place your order. And these, I will ship these out for free. I'm not going to charge you any shipping on that. So you just place your order with your host code, and then you can choose from my stamp sets. And if you go to my blog, if you go to the menu item host code, you will find the link to what stamp sets that I have available for choosing. And I'll be adding a few more later today. I got up most of them that I'll be offering, but I have a few more to add still, and I'll be doing that later this morning. It's a busy day. November is always a change. Every beginning of the month is always a changeover, so it always takes a little while to change over. Okay, I'm going to get rid of these for the moment, and I'm going to show you what today's card is that we are going to be copying and making over. It's this beautiful card. I love it because it's simple and it's going to be easy to recreate. It has a nice rectangular spot. I'm actually going to be making two cards today, one using the sketch and one kind of just a slightly different one. So here is the sketch for our Casing Tuesday card. Those are all the measurements that you'll need, and you can change them a little bit. I think I went pretty close to what the measurements are this time, so pretty close anyway. But you'll see my measurements up on my blog if you want to see my exact measurements. Okay, I'm going to close those out, and I'm going to pop over to my other camera, and I'm going to get started. So here is the card that this is my copied card, with the same layout as our sketch. And then I did this other card just using the full bundle with the beautiful ovals. So you can make a whole bunch of matching cards with this gorgeous paper. And I'm just going to show you what that paper looks like. So on the one side, we've got florals. So this will be good going into spring. And then on the back side, we've got neutral patterns. And this one would be nice for Christmas. You get 2 sheets of each. Then this pattern, this could also be used for Christmas, and some neutral on the back. And then got this floral with this background. This would also look nice for the holidays with a more neutral background. Then we've got this one with the blue flowers and a green gingham, and that's it. So I really like this paper. I love when they do neutrals on the back sides of like a busier type paper, so you can really go ahead and choose what paper you like best. So that's one part of the suite, the paper. Then we've got the framed and festive stamp set with really beautiful fun greetings that you can use on your Christmas cards. And then there's the Frame Florets bundle, Frame Florets stamp set, Frame Florets dies. They're available as a bundle, and you can save 10% when you buy them together. And I love these ovals. They're just gorgeous. And then also these words are really nice. We're going to be making birthday cards today, but you could also do a thank you card. They're just a really pretty bundle. Okay, and then one more thing available in the bundle are these, they're called gold adhesive back swirls. So, and I think you get 50 of them, 75 of these little guys. I will not be using these today, but try and use them on a future project so I can show you how they look. Okay, so let's get started. Pop those down there. And we're going to start off by doing the Casing Tuesday card. And so we're going to be using a balmy blue card base. And I just cut it into a tent fold, so 11 inches by 4 1/4, scored in half at the 5 1/2 inch mark. Use my bone folder just to smooth it down flat. We need to make this little banner here. So to do that, just decide what you want at your top and bottom. I think I like these florals right here at the top. So this is going to be my bottom. So the way I create a little banner bottom, I'm using my Omni Grip ruler. And if you want to see what this ruler is, it's a centering ruler, and it's also a regular ruler, and I use it a lot in my paper crafting. This is not a Stampin' Up! Product, but I put a link to it in the Amazon store because people have told me they have trouble finding it. So I put it down there for you. And so what I'm going to do, this line here, if you go down, is like about 1/2 inch down. It's kind of a dotted yellow line. And I'm going to use that and line it up with the edge of my cardstock. And this piece of designer series paper measures 3.5 inches by 4 3/4 inches. So I'm just going to make a mark 1/2 inch up and 1 3/4 inches over, or I'm using my centering ruler here and I'm just centering it. Here's the 0, and then I've put 1 3/4 inches on either side of the paper, and that way I'll know that I'm 1/2 inch up, 1 3/4 inches over. And then all I need to do is connect these lines. If you're good, you could just use your scissors and just kind of line it up and cut. But I find sometimes it's better to just draw the line so I know exactly where my scissors need to cut. And you can kind of see there. And then I'll just cut this freehand. It's a very short distance, so I can't make it too crooked. All right, so there we go. There's our little banner. That was pretty easy, right? It's not hard to do that. And then I want to adhere this to the front. And I'm going to center it on here. So I'm just looking for equal distance here, 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 and to this point down here at the bottom and this point here. So just kind of get it centered and then press down. Okay, so we're going to have this other piece. This piece measures, I think it's the same size. Yes, it is. So this one measures 3.5 by 3 1/4. We'll glue that one in a second along with this one. This one's 3.5 by 2 3/4. So I'm going to take some balmy blue ink and ink this up. This greeting is on a D block, and this one was from the framed Florets stamp sets. It's a really pretty greeting. Wishes for a beautiful birthday. And just stamp it as close to center as possible. And then I'm going to switch to Night of Navy and just ink up my little flowers here. One in each corner. This is supposed to be a nice and easy card. So I'm just going to let that ink dry for a second before I color the flowers. And then I'll come back here and glue this Evening Evergreen piece on here. Remember, this piece was 3.5 by 3 1/4 inches. And, you know, I just want that peeking out up at the top. Okay. And then I'm going to take my polished pink. This is light polished pink. I'm just going to brush it onto the petals. Really easily. And this one is meant to be a simple card. And then my other card is a little bit more complex because this one I did without any die cuts. So this is one that you could do without the dies. You just need a stamp set, an ink pad. It's a lot simpler of a card. And I just wanted to show how both cards are really beautiful. One's a little easier than the other. Okay. So now I'm going to take this piece and just add it to here, center it from top to bottom, just make sure there's equal amount of space. Sliding, okay. All right. Okay, so I want to add I'm going to add some of these iridescent pearl basic jewels. Whoops. I'm going to use the smaller ones right here. Come on. And I'll just pop on one here and one here. And then I'm going to take, actually this time I'm going to take mini glue dots. I'm switching all over the place with my ribbon placement. This is crinkled seam binding in basic white, and I just tied it into a bow earlier. And I'll put a dot on each of the loops, behind the loops. Instead of the knot, I'm going to put it on the loops, and then I'll just add it just right about there, down here at the bottom of the card. And there's the card. It's not too hard, but look at how much work that paper does in making the card really easy for me to make, but it just looks like I spent a lot of time on it because of the beautiful paper peeking out at the back there. Okay, so that's card number 1. And then so for card number 2, bring out the pieces. This time we're going to use a thick basic white card base, and this one's the same measurement, 11 by 4 1/4, scored in half at the 5.5 inch mark. We need to do some die cutting on this one. So this time we're going to die cut the flowers. So I'm going to stamp them onto a scrap piece of basic white. And then we need to die cut some shapes. So let's go ahead and do that so I can show you how beautiful the dies are. All right, I'm going to bring out my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. This is the sandwich you use. We're going to use the base platform number 1, then die adapter number 2, a clear plate number 3, a second clear plate, also a number 3, will go on top afterwards. But for the bottom, we just need 1, 2, 3, put it down, and then we're going to take all of these pieces here we need to cut. So let's come back to these dies here. We're going to cut a one of these, and if you want to, this one has a bunch of little smaller little die cuts. If you do a little rub with some wax paper, I keep wax paper for a lot of things. I like to use wax paper to wrap things up with, like if I make little squares in the kitchen, like to eat, like little chocolate chip cookie squares or something like that. I like to wrap them up in wax paper. So I always have wax paper on hand, but it's also a really useful tool for your craft room. So I just balled that up and use it and rub it on there. And that one will go through first. And then I'm going to take a piece of balmy blue, and I'm going to take this die here. It's a different oval, and we'll run both of these through at the same time. You can't see it, but I have a handle on the side of my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, and that's what cranks this through here. So we've got this beautiful oval in blue. This will be an extra piece I can use on a different project. Then we've got this piece here, another extra piece I can use, and then we'll just pop this out. And for the most part, these pop out fairly easily. You may need to use like a piercing tool to get some of them, but for the most part, these like pop out. You might just even be able to flick them with your finger They pop up fairly easily. There's one that's being stubborn. There we go. Oh, another one. There we go. So that's what the other oval looks like. And then we need to, let's get rid of all of these little pieces. I just use a leftover hotel key card or like an old credit card or something, just like a little piece of plastic. And I just go over my garbage and I just shove it off like that. And then I'll come to the next one. I need that same oval. This one, I need a white piece for the center. So we'll just run that through. Actually, you know what we could do? No, we can't do it. I lied. We do need this piece because we're putting the floral paper in the background. If we didn't have the floral paper, we could just stamp right on the card base, but I need this white oval can be used on another project. And this is what I need for the center to stamp my greeting on. Okay. Oh, you know what? We need to do one more thing. One more thing. We need to die cut out our little flowers. Could have done that a little more easily. So for these ones, I'm going to use some Post-it note tape. It's, whoa, whoa. I threw it down. Okay, there it is. It's sturdy, it didn't break. So this is just labeling and cover up tape. It's like the top of a Post-it note. I also have a link to that down below in the description of this video if you want to see what it is. I'm just going to just kind of center this and just pop this down on here, and then we'll run that through. I'm going to run it through till it bumps over the top of it and come back. I always find that's a little easier to do, to go forward and back rather than go all the way through. So there's flower number 1. And then we'll just do that with flower number 2. Just see that it's kind of all the way around. And then go through. This time we'll go all the way through because it's on the end. Okay. And there is flower number 2. You could hand cut these out as well if you wanted to, but this is so nice and easy to be able to use a die to do that. Okay. Put this away. And we'll come back over here and let's do our stamping. We need to color those flowers too. We're going to use the exact same greeting. I've got a bunch of November birthdays. Wishes for a beautiful birthday. And we'll just pop that on there. Voila. And now we get to assemble the card. Let's put all of these things. Oh, let's color the flowers first. That will just take a little minute. Sometimes, like if you didn't want to color these, you could stamp these on colored cardstock. Just the flower, stamp it on colored cardstock, and then die cut it. And then you wouldn't have to color it. You could just add the flowers directly onto your piece. But this isn't too bad. It's just a small place to color. And I'm using the brush tip, and when I use the brush tip, I use it on its side so I don't break down the marker tip. So I just really try and do that. Another little tip, and I should have done this, but I didn't, is it's easier to color before die cutting, because once you've got these tiny little pieces, it's kind of hard to hold on to. So if you have a strip, if you're doing multiples of these, if you do a strip of flowers, color them all and then die cut them, I find that's a little easier than to color little tiny individual pieces. Okay, let's bring back in our card base. And then this is just a piece of that same paper, and I've cut this one to 3 3/4 by 5 inches. So this one is just, I'm just gonna put it right in the middle of the card base. There's no banner this time. We're just gonna stick this right down as centered as possible. And then we're gonna take this one, and I'm just gonna kind of run some Tombow on the back of this piece. And you could use our sticky pages, our sticky sheets, and add this and then die cut it, and then this becomes just a sticky die cut, but I always forget to do that. I do love my Tombow though, so it's just a personal preference of mine. But if you don't like using liquid glue for the backs of these kinds of die cuts, invest in getting some sticky pages, and then you can just peel off the backing of this, and then it's easier. Okay, so you know what I noted? I noted that I forgot to remove a couple of those. Okay, these are fine. That's fine. I just didn't see those. Then we're going to add this one, and I'm going to put Tombow on this one. I'm going to add it to the inner circle because it kind of is, when it doesn't nest perfectly inside the evening evergreen one. So I think it's better just to put glue on the inside of the circle, and then I'm just gonna try and maneuver that just on the edge of the circle and press down. I almost feel bad that I'm gonna cover up that beautiful floral there, but I'm gonna do it anyway. See, I'm gonna cover it up. You could definitely use this as the inside piece, but then I probably wouldn't go crazy with the outside. I'd make that a solid color, or I would do a more neutral stamping on there. Okay, so we're going to add our little greeting, and then we'll grab some dimensionals and we'll put them on the backs of these little flowers, because now we're going to pop these up. And the nice thing about this is that I can pop it up on top of the frame. It can go over top of the frame because there was not a lot of room to put the flowers and stamp. So this way I can kind of have them peeking out over top of the frame. And then I'm going to do some pearls on this card as well. So just add that, and then we'll also do some ribbon. Pop that away. A little ribbon bow. And again, I'm using basically the same ingredients as I used for the other card, crinkled seam binding, white crinkled seam binding. So I just basically use the same supplies just to make it really super easy, and to show you, this can go a long way. All right, so there is the birthday card. This is the Fitting Florets collection, and there we go. Some beautiful birthday cards for November using this new gorgeous collection. I hope you like that. And so if you missed me at the beginning, I'm just going to pop this up again. This is the number for the whole collection. That includes the Christmas stamp set, which is called Framed and Festive. And it also includes, let me pop the dies back on. I just kind of threw them on top. Okay. So then we've got the framed Florets bundle, framed Florets stamp set, framed Florets dies. They can be purchased as a bundle and save 10%. Then we've got the gorgeous paper that I used today. It's also called framed Florets. They started now naming all the pieces of a collection with the same name, which I love. They're going to start to do that going forward now. So it's going to be a lot easier. You know that the framed Florets dies match the framed Florets stamp set. So that's a new thing. We still have all of our old products named with different names, but now we have the nice, easy naming. And then we have these, which are the gold adhesive back swirls, which are also part of the collection. You can buy the whole collection with that number, 163129. Or if you put that in, if you go to the store right now, it's one of the top banners, and you just click on it and it will take you to the page with all the individual products in it too. So if you just want the bundle, you can just go in and buy the bundle separately. So that is that. Oh, and my host code, I'll pop that up one more time. Where are you? This is my November host code. And if you spend, for every 50 you spend this month, you're going to get one of my retired stamp sets, one of my classic favorites from the vault. And they are all unmounted rubber stamp sets. These were my favorite stamp sets, but I'm planning, we are house hunting right now, and it's quite conceivable that we'll have a smaller space than we have right now. And I would love not to be a hoarder and have some space and pass my favorites on to people that will actually, stampers that will actually enjoy them. These are things that have never been in a Stampin' Up! Sale before, because they were things that I was hanging on to. I had gone through the trouble of mounting them from wood collections. So these stamp sets will not be found, generally they will not be found unmounted like I have. They will be, if you find them, they will be wood mounted. And most of us now just love the whole cling mount, so that we can use them on our clear blocks, and that makes it so much easier. So I just wanted to point that out. They will fit on your shelf just like all of our new products, because I have converted them over. So, and I will ship them to you for free. So for every $50 you spend, you get to choose one of those. And if you click over on my blog, over to the host code menu item, you can see all the stamp sets that I have available from there. Okay, I have talked a lot today. So let me just pop these away for now. And let's talk to all of you, see how you're doing today. I hope everyone's well. Good morning, Marty and Janine and Dee. So nice to see you this morning. Marty said the paper would be beautiful as wallpaper. I agree. It's kind of in the classic style. And, you know, wallpaper, we used to like, back a long time ago when we did wallpaper, you do the whole room in wallpaper. Nowadays, wallpaper can be used as a nice accent wall, or you can frame it out and just do like, or what I did in our last house, not the one we're living in right now, but the one that I had in Tennessee. What I did, there was wallpaper in the dining room. It was kind of a neutral wallpaper, and it was above and below the chair rail. And what I did was I took out the above wallpaper, removed it, and then I painted the top and left the bottom the chair rail, and then the bottom I left wallpapered, and it actually looked really good. And so I think if we use wallpaper selectively, we can do a really great job. But I'm not on a decorating show, so I'm just going to say we can just use little bits of paper to make our cards look gorgeous, or use a lot and then just, use like a little greeting, and you're done. It's wonderful. I definitely love using Stampin' Up! Paper. Good morning, Pam, and thank you so much for sharing. Good morning, Alice from Indiana, and thank you for sharing as well, Alice. That's so sweet of you. Um, Marty says the Omni ruler is a great ruler, nice and sturdy. Oh, I'm glad you were able to get one. It is a nice ruler. They make Omni Grid makes really large rulers for quilting, but this one's like a much smaller one. It's only 12 inches, so it's a different type of ruler. It's sometimes hard to find, so that's why I have the link down below. Dee said, such a sweet card with the polished pink flowers on the front. Thank you. Marty said, do you rotate and flip your cutting plates? I know people have different methods to make their cutting plates last longer. So what I do, I keep my bottom plate is my bottom plate, and I sometimes flip the top plate, but it's interesting that if you kind of keep your bottom plate, your cutting plate, the top one warps and then the bottom one just kind of usually stays pretty flat. So I end up replacing the top plate more. I guess I've got etching into both of them. So I've probably been doing a little bit of both. But yeah, I don't have a magic trick for that. Like eventually you have to replace them. Or, I mean, there's some people that have done videos on how to rejuvenate them. They've done like look them up because I'm not going to explain it properly, but they basically heat them up. The best method I think I saw was using like your kitchen sink and pouring boiling water over it. But that's quite a little bit of work, and I'm not sure if that's good to do with these plates and them being probably a plastic product. I'm not 100% sure, so I probably would just rather buy some new plates than mess with all of that. Marty said the 2 leftover ovals layer nicely, don't they? Yeah, I think I'm gonna bring my ovals back. So I had a blue oval and a green oval, and then I had this one over here. Yeah, I guess, yeah, probably like this white one would just like really just peek out just a little bit on the edges. So you could use this on another card. I probably should have come up with a card with that little piece too. But I was just thinking yesterday I was doing well to get this all done with 2 cards, because I'll tell you, yesterday afternoon, the saga of our house hunting, we had found a nice little condo, and we were going back today to take another look at it. We had already scheduled an appointment. Well, lo and behold, we get an email yesterday, or a text message from our agent saying that the condo now has a cash offer on it. I'm like, seriously? Every single place. Like, condos sell a little more slowly here, so we thought, and it had been on the market 2.5 weeks, so we had thought we could go look at it with our agents like a couple days after we were at the open house, but nope. So that one, we will not be paying all cash for a house in the Boston area, but I guess some people are able to do that, and it is kind of scary, the number of people that are able to do that, and we cannot do that. So we are just going to have to be very patient, and I'm going to have to do a lot of meditation to get my brain back into calm back down, because every single house we find, or condo, you have to fall in love a little bit with the house in order to put an offer on it for that much money, right? So you fall in love, you think, okay, how's my craft studio gonna look? Where is everything gonna fit? Is it gonna fit? So you fall in love with it a little bit, and then you're like, but you want to also be reasonable with your offers. You don't want to create like spend over your budget and make the rest of your life or the next 10 years or whatever very tight. So you have to at least I feel like that's important to do. So anyway, it was yeah. So in the meantime, I was happy to be able to produce two beautiful cards today with all of that going on in my brain, because it is hard then to kind of bring yourself back down and to tell you, okay, there's a reason that that place didn't work, and it's okay, and you will find another place, but in the meantime you have to kind of rewire your brain, and now you're no longer liking the place. You're going to fill your brain with all the things that were not quite right about the place. So that's what you do, and then you reset, and then tomorrow starts the new process of looking at new houses, because usually on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, new houses are posted on the MLS. And so that's when we look again. And as we get closer to the holidays, things might slow down. But that is what consumes my free time right now, is just trying to figure out how we can find a place to live. So that's just an aside. I know not all of you want to know all that background information, but I know some of you do. And I know all of you have stuff going on in your lives. That's what's going on in my life. And there's other people that have other stuff, and we all have something in our lives that we have to work through. And that's mine right now. And I wish you well with whatever yours is. All right, too much information. I'm going back to the comments. Let's see. Okay. Marty said the sticky sheets are great, but I always mess it up. Oh, do you? I don't know. I just never use them, but Tombow is great. I love Tombow. It's my go-to adhesive. Dee said, I love the second card too. The one with the frame's very pretty. Thank you. She said, also said that she really liked the two with the white background. So pretty. Yeah, you know what? Unfortunately, when I was looking at the sketch, I was trying to find a way to use the ovals with the sketch today, because today is Casing Tuesday, and that's, what we have to do. And I felt like on this card, it was really going to be hard to get an oval on here to make it look right with today's sketch. But I really wanted to show the ovals. So that's why you got the extra bonus card, because I needed to show how pretty those ovals are. Look at how gorgeous all of that texture is on those ovals. And there's yet another one that I didn't use today. This one just cuts out little hearts. It doesn't cut out an oval. It puts the little hearts in an oval shape. It's very, very cute. I can see so many. It would be beautiful for anniversary or any kind of love occasion. Hearts are universal you can use them at any point through the year, but especially for anniversaries and Valentine's Day and showing someone that you love them. That would be really cute. Okay, let's see. Janine said, very pretty. I prefer the second one because I'm not much of a banner person. Oh, Janine, I did not convert you. Oh, shoot. I do like the ovals, though. It's a lovely set. Thank you. Dee said, I'm so happy they're naming all the pieces in the collection the same. It's so much easier to know what goes with what at a glance. Yes, it will be easier going forward. The old stuff will have to retire, and we'll have to get new stuff in before we get all of that consistency. But eventually we're going to have that consistency. And I don't know why Stampin' Up! Didn't do that to start, but they told us recently at a Leaders Live that they did for us that they were doing that. And I think everyone was just cheering. It's such a no-brainer to make our lives a lot easier and no longer have to try and figure out what goes with what. I was so happy this morning. I didn't have to run across my craft room and go, what was the name of those dies? So easy now. Okay. Marty said she'd rather buy the new ones too. very scary. Holy cannoli. I don't know what that's referring to. Oh, probably my house hunting. Yes, yes. Mary said, "Hang in there." Well, thank you guys. Yeah, everyone goes through stuff, and it's not just me going through stuff. It is a little emotional, but I can tell you there's a lot of other things that I'd rather not go through. I'd rather go through this. It's not fun. Everyone goes through stuff, and I've gone through stuff that hasn't been fun. But part of it is fun. Like initially you see a place, you think you might like it, you fall in love with it, and then you go through all the back end stuff, right? So, it is fun. And I've started watching home shows again because I didn't do that for a long time because I didn't want to watch home shows when I couldn't buy a home. Because when you live in a rented place, there's a limited amount of stuff that you can do to it to make it yours. And seeing as this is also an older place, there would be things that I would love to, change and make better. And I just have to kind of look at it and not be able to do that. And so that's been a little frustrating. So I've been watching home shows again because it's, who knows if we'll get like a newer place. Is more likely we'll get an older place that we need to renovate. So I want to get my brain into that mode where I look at things and see the potential. So yeah, I'm sure some of you have done that before, and it's harder to do it in a hot market like Boston. So definitely, for sure, it's a little crazy. All right. Marty said looking at houses is fun. Yeah, it is. It is fun. It's kind of like you get this adrenaline rush when you go and you see something you like, and then there's kind of that adrenaline, like putting in an offer and all of that. And then there's the crash. We've had like 3 crashes. This is the 3rd offer we've had. The first 2 were ended up in bidding wars. This one just ended up in a cash offer, and we had already talked about in the morning how high we wanted to go on this one before that extra offer came in. And we had calculated very carefully what we thought the area was going to do in the next little while. Of course, do we really have an idea? No, because everything's changed in the world. So yeah, but we're doing our best, right? We're trying to figure out where it might go. If the economy goes, the interest rates go up, economy might be a little worse. So, we're trying to calculate all that. And, someone with a all cash offer is very compelling. It's like good to go. They can close a lot sooner, So we lost out, and it's okay. And we're going to move on to this week and beyond. And hopefully you won't have to listen to 2 years of me going on about houses. I might need to change the name of my channel then. All right, guys. Well, I hope you have a great week. Check out the Fitting Florets bundle or suite or collection. It is really beautiful, and you'll see a lot of beautiful cards now. I have already seen a lot of them floating out on the internet, so you'll have lots of inspiration, including mine. I will be back here on Friday. I do my live on Friday on YouTube, so please check that out. And I hope you have a great week until then. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.